Guido Martelli. Who is he? Well, according to Rockstar, he's Angelo Bronte's trusted lieutenant, and he's bringing new content to Red Online this summer. When is that? What is that? And what does it even mean? Well, looking at some of the wording that Rockstar's mentioned in the newswire, it says whether it's intimidation, unsavory crimes, or larger, higher stakes robberies, this could mean a large slew of different things, from a new role of an outlaw to just side mission story heists, or even just a stranger mission with a couple of new variations. So let's jump over to the actual big news that happened yesterday. Rockstar dropped a newswire that states that Red Dead Online and GTA Online, of course, is getting an assortment of new updates through May and the summer months. So not sure when this is coming. Red Dead Online is getting some new horse races next week. So that's the May thing. And then we're getting an assortment of new updates throughout the summer months. But they are talking about GTA Online and Red Dead Online, so we may most likely just mostly get our Red Dead Online summer update all at once, and then there's, the GTA Online later in the summers. That's their wording there. Rockstar, whenever they actually do communicate with us, they love to even cause more questions than answers. And that's what they did down here with their actual information about what's coming this summer update. It says Red Dead Online summer update will be add a diverse array of new missions. A diverse array of new missions across the world for those looking to step into the criminal underworld. That, to me, is an outlaw role. But then it says, down in Saint Denis, Angelo Bronte's trusted lieutenant, Guido Martelli, is working to create his own criminal network. So when we talk about that, if we're talking about a role, Guido Martelli may just be that one person that you kind of interact with the very first time, kind of like the cutscene for Maggie for the Moonshine Shack, the cutscene for the bounty hunter when you interact with the bounty hunter, which I'm not sure if she even has a name. She probably does somewhere. But he's looking to create a criminal network, so whether it's intimidation, unsavory crimes, or larger, high-stakes robberies, riders best be willing to do whatever it takes to earn their blood money. Now, if we jump over to Take-Two Interactive's call that was actually yesterday as well, they spoke about this a little bit as well, with a little bit of different wording. They say a massive new update to Red Dead Online, with heavily requested consumer additions with quality of life updates as well. They also say later this summer, so now they say later this summer, which, that's definitely not June, but no one really knows anything at all. Later this summer, fans can look forward to a host of new missions for skilled outlaws involving everything from quick holdups to larger, high-stakes robberies for big rewards. So what we're talking about here is this going to be a new role for an outlaw, or is it just going to be a stranger mission? Is Guido going to be a stranger mission and give us things? If we look at it in that aspect, we can look at this. If Guido is a stranger in Saint Denis, offering us stranger missions like other stranger missions do all over the place, we could get easily intimidation missions from him, just like we do with Maggie. We have to go intimidate the bartender, right? That's technically already in the game. Unsavory crimes, that could just be a kidnapping or a assassination of somebody they want killed. Or larger, higher stakes robberies, which we do that as strangers kind of already as well. We do stagecoach robberies and things like that. So that could be it. But there's small little inclinations of wording from both the newswire and the Take-Two Interactive report that kind of lean towards an outlaw role. As we said earlier, in the newswire, it says Red Dead Online summer update will add a diverse array of new missions across the world for those looking to step into the criminal underworld. Outlaw. On the Take-Two Interactive report, they mentioned that later this summer, fans can look forward to a host of new missions. Pretty much the same thing he said there. For skilled outlaws. For skilled outlaws. Take that with a grain of salt. Could be either way. We're not sure. But who is Guido Martelli? Who is Guido Martelli? As it states in the newswire, Guido Martelli is the lieutenant of Angelo Bronte. He is shown a couple times in story mode. I believe the most you get to see him is actually in the mayor party cutscenes, where he's standing right next to Angelo Bronte when you're standing there with Dutch and the gang at the party. After Angelo Bronte is brutally murdered by Dutch, spoiler for story if you guys haven't played it in the last couple years, he is fed to an alligator. It is a pretty cool mission. I replayed it again today just to get some of this footage. It is pretty fun. After he is fed to them, it is to be known that Guido takes over Angelo's crime ring in Saint Denis. So that's in 1899. Online takes place a year earlier, so when we're meeting up with Guido, he does still work for Angelo Bronte, but he may be having his own henchmen do some work for him, so when he does take over the business, he's already got some, right-hand mans and whatnot. Guido is mentioned another time in story mode when you finally meet up with Charles again as John. When you finally meet up with Charles as John, Charles is actually kind of working for Guido. He kind of is throwing fights and doing that on the behalf of Guido and the Saint Denis mob type area. After he does not throw his fight and they're running away, they actually meet up with Guido's henchmen. And then, you got to fight them and take them out and shoot them and then just leave the city. So in 1898, Guido actually is an up-and-coming crime boss and of Saint Denis, where in a few years later, he will be the runner of the mob in Saint Denis and also have the police under his belt as well. So there is some pretty cool things that they could add into online during that time frame that we play in that would actually lead towards some of this future stuff. If you're looking at things further, the newswire does state bring in some of the most frequent fan-requested additions to the game, along with a host of new items, quality of life updates, and more. Some of the most frequently fan-requested items for Red Dead Online is some kind of large-scale heists or robberies, which they kind of mentioned that a little bit. Kind of leads me to believe there might be a story around this. It could work a lot like the heists do in GTA Online, where you got a, lead man and you go meet up with them and you have to go do certain other missions to get it all set up and you have one big heist at the end. I hope it's not just like that, because replayability on those I don't think is that great, because once you do it one time, you can replay it and do the same thing over and over again, but it doesn't really have too much replayability. So we'll have to see how this plays out. The picture they added to this does look like a big train delivery, right? Like a big train robbery. It's a pretty popular picture as well. I think everybody on YouTube, including myself, used it as their thumbnail for yesterday's video, because it is pretty awesome. It got everyone's keen eye to see this train. Is definitely different than the train we currently have in the game. It does have some kind of rack on top of it as well. So it definitely is some sort of mission to do with trains. Not sure if this is the one and only large-scale robbery, or if this is just some smaller robbery or crime that you need to do that they're mentioning here. Not quite sure there at all. One of their cool things that is pretty awesome is Guido actually does a lot of boxing. That's the main reason that you find Charles in Saint Denis back in the epilogue, and it's the main reason that Guido is re-mentioned in the game, is because he's trying to throw fights. And I know that is a larger, that is one of the largest fan-requested updates to this game, is to have some sort of social space for boxing or bare knuckle fighting. Would be pretty awesome. And I know they're adding some large social space for car shows in GTA Online. We need a couple of these in Red Dead Online. Some sort of social space That's a hard word to say. Where we actually can meet up together in a community event and have some pretty fun stuff. Rockstar, if you don't have that on the chopping block yet, or if it's not on the cooking show, or if it's not coming this summer, definitely put it on the list, because some sort of social space in Red Dead Online will be pretty awesome. So as we look at the summer update and what's to come, we really don't know. As we mentioned earlier, Rockstar just don't communicate very well. The only reason they dropped this newswire yesterday was because Take-Two earnings was dropping their, quarter review, and they wanted to have a little bit of stuff to talk about what's coming. So they were like, hey, you need to let your community know, so when we drop this, they already know, and we can let it know, because they talked about it a little bit as well. Pretty much almost verbatim, word to word, what was in this newswire. But something's coming. Is it coming as early as June 1st? I've always mentioned and been optimistic that Rockstar is going to continue this push of update with Outlaw Pass and then Lonely Outlaw Pass afterwards, kind of like we had since December, right? And we're just going to keep rolling on through. Don't know if that's happening now. After this newswire, it does state that an assortment of new updates are coming to both GTA and Red Dead Online through May and the summer months. On the earnings call, they did verbatim say later this summer, fans can look forward to hosting new missions. I mean, that could be a couple weeks from now. All of our coupons still expire at the end of Outlaw Pass number 5 on May 31st. I went and looked. Those haven't been extended. If Outlaw Pass 5 gets extended, usually those are extended as well, and they are still show May 31st, and we're a week away from that. So I don't think that's going to be extended at all. I did see that the current Prime Gaming, Twitch Prime benefits are through, if you do some stuff, if you sign up this week through June 7th, you get a certain update, a certain gift. I think it's like some animal pheromones or something like that. But that's through June 7th. So I'm kind of leaning to say that June 7th is probably when this may come. But, it may not even come until the end of July. We really don't know. And unless we hear something direct from Rockstar, I mean, we're just speculating, and we got our hype going. We got our hopes up, and we're ready for something. We're excited for it. Rockstar might actually deliver with this update. We don't know. We'll just have to wait. If you guys are excited for what's to come, make sure to smash that like button. If you're new around here, consider subscribing to the channel for tons more Red Dead Online content, including tips and tricks, news updates, gameplay, just good old-fashioned fun. Remember as well, we do have a PS5 giveaway happening, and one of you guys can take that home. Make sure to subscribe and watch our live streams so you can earn points to go towards raffle tickets. Hope to see you on the prairie sometime, but until then, see you later.